Well, it's 6 a.m. at the store. I'm gonna start with a video. Walking into what's gonna be probably another 6 months of business, and then this is gonna be all a different business. We are struggling to make ends meet. We have a full-blown retail operation, 31,000 square feet, in an old Best Buy. We started this business in 2020 in my garage. Actually, I started it selling on eBay. Fast forward over 5 years later, we're full-blown retail. Our sales in the beginning were 100% profit year over year for the first 2.5 years. And then once we went retail, September 2023, we started doing a lot of sales, making a lot of margin, but the overhead is a killer, even at a discounted rate. We are trying to sustain. We are doing things like high bid auctions. These are high bids that are getting ready for the week. There's a lot of death piles. They don't tell you this in liquidation. Everybody says, oh, buy a pallet, flip it, make some money, turn it again, which is true. But the problem is when you have your overhead in the way, how do you succeed? Everything you see here, it's a big mess, but everything you see here, there was no game plan. So this is our processing area. We got garbage that's not been taken out. It's a Tuesday. We're closed today. We had to close down 2 days a week because we were working 7 days a week between me and my wife, and it was too much retail. Open to close 7 days a week. I'm gonna come over here. This is one shipment of inventory that we had to go through and process and trash. This is outdated snacks that we got that we're throwing away. This is an incomplete item that on my manifest, I bid on this load. Compared to $780, I paid a percentage of that. We were gonna try to sell it for $468 starting price. But as you can see, there's one piece there. So that's not good. Here's 2 grills. You can turn them into one if there's enough parts. They are the same model, but that's more labor. Look at the dent there. Look at the dent there. I'm pretty sure that there's enough to make one there. Here's some toilet paper. That was a buy that we did in December of last year, is now July. We bought 30 pallets of toilet paper. We have half of that left. This was flannels that we bought. We bought a whole a 3 truckload deal. It came with 2 truckloads of hooded flannels. This over here is, you can't really see it, but it's wrapped up. That's a cabana that we're gonna have to check piece by piece to make sure it's all there. This is all toilet seats. Pretty sure all those are used and broken. These do not come with tops. A lot of times the frames are bent because people put them up in the wind, and then once it bends and breaks and flips around and they return it, which that in itself is fraud, because I don't see how the big box store should give somebody a warranty against wind, but this is what happens, guys. Here's more grills that came open that we have to check and assemble. Something that wasn't processed yet. This one looks new, but it still needs to be checked. This one we had to assemble to make sure that was all complete. This is a bunch of cereal in date. As you can see, there's a bunch of it. So when you buy these loads, this one was snack boxes and cereal. But as you can see, there's a high quantity of cereal. So what we need to do is price this to sell and make a margin. And as it's going right now, it's not going fast enough. So we put out, what was it? $11,000 for this load. We almost broke even, but we have all this to sell. Usually when you buy a load, you want to get your capital back as fast as you can. So when you buy your load, you have to make sure that you're buying the right stuff. But the problem is they stick you with all this high quantities of one item. So what it does is your capital just sits there, right? All needs to be processed. All needs to be processed. I came up with this organizing thing. I took 3 pallets, put them in a triangle, and then put these boxes here, and now it's all labeled. It's a very fast sorting process, but then you need to pay the labor to do it. That's all been sitting there because as we get new loads, if the last load doesn't finish up, you have your death piles that pile up. My back area usually doesn't look like this. I'm having an issue with the stuff not being processed fast enough. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but there's a reason why this stuff is dirty and messy. You really need a good team to understand when the inventory comes in what to do with it. We have Halloween. We have only 5 pallets of Halloween. This is all the dead stock back here that we're storing on our sales floor, what used to be our sales floor, just because when you get all this inventory, if you don't move through it, you have to keep buying more inventory. So here's the snack boxes. We started with over 1,000 of them. It's been a little bit over a month. Probably, yeah, so a little bit over a month. That's what's left. That's what was supposed to pay for the load, but we had to put the price lower. We should have been selling these boxes at $10, which they sell for $16 to $27 on Amazon, but we had to put them at $8 to make sure that we got our money. They're all in date, July, August. All right, so we're gonna go over here. We're gonna show you some vanities. This is vanities that came with broken tops, which happens. But see these 3 right here? These 3 right here are retail $12.99. These took up a huge amount of retail on the manifest, and they all came with broken tops. At least this one was still complete, but these were all chunks. Now this vanity base, all somebody needs to do is just have some guy that makes granite for tops. Just take this, and I'm giving everybody undermount sink or vessel sink. This vanity right here, I can't even sell this vanity for $200 with the sink. Now tell me how that's not a deal. $12.99 at the store, sometimes on sale. Get a top made for, you know, maybe $200-300. You're $500 in on a $12.99 retail vanity. Very high quality, but it just seems that the value is not understood, and that's the problem. I should be able to get 60-70% of retail on this stuff because they're saving 30%, but I can't even get that. I got this guy right here for $4.99. He's a $1,200 vanity. I can't even get $5.99 or $4.99 on that. So that's the deal there. Dehumidifiers, we had to check every one of these. The ones that don't have boxes, the boxes were all mangled. These are all brand new. Anything that's used, we auction it. But these are all air conditioners. Now what happened was when we got this load was supposed to be paid for because it just became a heat wave. We didn't sell quite enough. A lot of the air conditioners that people were asking for were these portables because my area, everybody has central air. Now if you go 10 miles down the road, these would be something that somebody would buy. But the problem is my ads are not getting to the right area. We got candy, $5 a box. Cargo mats for $10. Mat sets for $10. Oh, here's a brand new fridge with a dent. $100 is not good enough on this. Retail $200, so with a dent you can't even get half retail. These right here retail for $44. I saw them for $10. They move pretty quick, but I'm not making nothing on them. All this is Christmas back there, left over from last year. I'm gonna have to liquidate everything because the price that sells is the price that I pay, basically. I can't put any margin on this because what happens is people come in and they negotiate everything. They think just because we're a discount store that we're a car dealership. And the problem is you can't keep doing that because what happens is you have bills to pay, you have margins to meet, but then what happens is you get desperate because you need the sales. So what happens is you're sitting here giving away all your profit just because somebody comes in and they basically say they're not going to buy it unless you give them their price, even though that your price in the beginning, what got them in the door was something that they should have been willing to pay because it's cheaper than retail. So here's our room here. We're going to get this cleared out. This building is equipped with a system that allows you to control all your lights and your heat, but the problem is nothing's working from day one. So what happened was we thought that we were getting automated HVAC and lighting where I can control my budget on my lights and my HVAC, but what's happening is it's always on. So this flooring here, we're not making good margin on. It's more of a convenience to have for our customers to keep them coming back. The hard part of flooring is you have to buy a truckload to get the best price. Truckloads are a huge amount of capital, and when it doesn't move and you don't get your money back, you get the same problem. You have inventory sitting and you can't make your ends meet because the inventory is not moving quick enough. Now we got TVs here that are over 30% off retail and they still won't sell. This one right here is $100 cheaper than at the store and it's still not good enough on an 86-inch TV. That one right there is half retail. An 85-inch TV, half retail, and it's still sitting here. These are half retail, still sitting here. We have clothes for $5, and these are still sitting here. Retail 25% of retail. These are $7. Still have a bunch of them. Microwaves. half retail. Still sitting there. Sharp drawer, half retail with a little bit of a dent. Still sitting there. So if all this stuff moved regularly like in the beginning, because this is actually a problem that we've just started having a year in. The first year I think where trajectory was up. And then what happened was I don't know if the inventory got stale or the value wasn't there. I mean, I believe that we never changed our business model. If anything, when prices went down, I mean, we got jeans for $10, guys, and they're all just sitting here. Levi's. There's name brand. It's all hung up, all labeled, organized. Sometimes when you come in here, this whole bottom row is all filled with clothes because people take it off the hanger and just throw it in there. The bins, $5 bins. It's kind of like our normal sales that we run. So we got these light up shoes, 2 for $10. Still sitting here. These water shoes, $5. I chose this design for the store because I wanted to make sure that I can give my customers an easy shopping experience. And it's nice that the cashier can look to one side of the store and the other side of the store and see what's going on at all times. I don't like the gondolas because then next thing you know it, your aisles are really crowded and there's just too much inventory in your face. And I feel like this layout is actually a really easy to understand, easy to see what's going on everywhere and not too much product in your face. So this is our cash wrap that we bought from Staples when they went out of business. Everything you see here has been created by us. We don't have a game plan that we went by. We just made it up as we go. I believe, to me, like, I would shop here and I would be a regular shopper just because the prices are crazy. I mean, in-date cereal, 4 for $12. It's all fresh. That's $5 for that, 61 ounce. Oh, look at this. This is the kind of stuff that happens. So somebody ripped this open and made it so I can't sell it now. This is the kind of stuff that I have happen daily. I just don't understand the disrespect that has happened in the world. Because when I worked retail, yeah, there was disrespect, but it was nothing like this. This is rough. Look at, they got some stuff sitting right there. You're gonna see like a lot of piles of stuff. We have so much that we do every day. Here's all the auctions from last week that ended Sunday. There's more in the back, but all this inventory right here, before fees, we grossed, I think, a little bit under $800. Now look at what's on the shelf there. You got a Dustin, you got a Ninja, you got a jumper box, you got a Foodie. I think that's $200 retail right there. Christmas trees, luggage. So our customers are getting really good prices. There's more in the back, bigger boxes. Look at, there's another Ninja up there. Our customers are getting really good prices. There's no reason why we shouldn't be killing it. But I mean, we assembled this. We took our labor hours and put that together. Same with this one. This one we had to piece it together from other ones. That's brand new in the box. So we had to assemble all this stuff just to make sure that it was all there. I believe we had this set right here. We had 2 of them. The last one that we had didn't even come with screws. So I had screws in the back. So I was able to put that together. There's a dent down there. That's a really nice Oxford smoker with a side. $330 assembled. All right, so I'm gonna walk back here. There's the toilet paper. This cart's been sitting here for probably a month, or the stuff's been sitting in the cart for a month. It's been moved around. I think that cart was over there, then it was over there, now it's right here. This stuff right here, if you list it on eBay, you'd probably get, for that cart right there, you probably get $200 at least for those pipes. There's other stuff down there. So I'm gonna go into the eBay room. Our eBay room has 7,000 items listed. Everything's on sale. Some of the stuff is, percentages cheaper than the next sale down. But as you can see, death piles. But as you can see too, I have everybody set up with a really nice working station. It's organized, but it's just organized chaos. Like, I don't know how long that's been sitting like that. Things on the ground. Would you guys say that we have a problem here of too much inventory, or just somebody, it seems like everything's pretty organized. I know where everything is mostly. You get the times where stuff gets mixed in, but look at this. Thousands of items, guys. So what we had to do is we ran out of space, and we had to make another space over there. I'll show you that in a second. This is where we ship everything. So I created this area with the computer and the printer right next to the table where you pack, and then you got your Mylars, and then a lot of times we have to just make things with bigger items. We have to make boxes. So we just kind of grab whatever we can. We got some stuff over here. So this is our back area. This was a tech bay. We're in an old Best Buy. We had to knock this hole in the wall so I can get the forklift out, because this is ground level driving doors. This is a bunch of just random inventory. This is where we kind of repair things. We got 2 of these that need tires filled. Air compressor there. We got high ceilings. As you can see, there's no racking. If we had racking, we wouldn't really have this big mess, because then stuff would be on the racks. But I can't afford racking. I think last week we didn't even hit payroll. And I'll go through the numbers with everything. So, we got clean bathrooms. And I even got the air freshener up there to keep it, clean. Show you the break room. So here's our break room. I got a couch for the employees. We give them, snacks. There's coffee. I'm not even gonna go into the women's bathroom because Sometimes there's a lot of surprises that you get in public bathrooms. Ours seem to happen on a weekly basis, which I don't understand either. I don't understand how people can do such disgusting things in public places, but it happens. So I'm just gonna take a walk around here. All right, so we're gonna go over a lot of stock that's just sitting around. Capital, I call it. Capital sitting on pallets. Snow shovels brand new in the box. The power ones, we got the regular snow shovels there. Those dog treats we got last winter. The expiration is April, so now they're already expired. So now these are packed away. That's one sign of overbuying or being forced to overbuy. We actually have contract where we have to take whatever they give us and figure out what to do with it. And in this case, I have 7 pallets of dog treats that's going to have to be thrown in a dumpster. So think about that. All that capital, and then on top of it, the price of the dumpster. And then if you got to get 2, we're actually lucky where we're not paying market on dumpsters, because I know somebody that owns a dumpster service. From what I understand, I'm not paying market, and I really appreciate it. But $450 a dumpster times 2, that's $900 on top of the price of the inventory. So so tell me, how is that sustainable when every shipment that you get, you're going to have a possibility of dumpstering it? Because we do the right thing. We don't take our inventory and pawn it off on other people if we know that it's bad. We're not like that. And I can tell you that right now, all this stuff's been checked. So this is all stock that we're going to have hopefully for the winter and make some money on and get some of our capital back. There's tons of heaters. Now up there, this is another buy that we had to take on a truckload. So this is outdated N95 surgical masks that expired prior to us purchasing them. And we did get a little bit of a credit back, but I can tell you right now, it does not cover the capital that went into these. The retail was, I think, $60,000, and I want to say that we were charged $12,000, if I'm not mistaken. So $12,000 sitting up there on all those square boxes that I'm gonna have to do something with. I mean, I can donate them, right? But then the second I donate them, maybe there's a use for them, and now I just gave away all that margin. Here's Christmas back there. Here's another pallet that I'm trying to sell. It's like 6,000 or 7,000 retail in this, just odds and ends. Somebody that's a reseller, I was trying to get $600 for this. Somebody that was a reseller could have bought this and did very well with it, because it goes all the way down, and it's it's like 4 feet tall. So yeah, so there's a bunch of air filters back there. Time is against us, guys. We don't have a lot of time. We tried to where you hire a lot of employees and move volume, but the good help is really hard to find nowadays. We ran into same thing that everybody runs into. People calling in sick nonstop, committing to working a certain shift, and every time that shift comes up, it's inconvenient. But everybody could collect a paycheck, but the business that needs the employee can't get the employee, even though that I have to every week. I promise everybody they get their paycheck. It's a one-way street, guys. The best thing to do in this business is stay as small as you can, do everything yourself, have a life balance. The second we started this retail store, our life balance went away, and a lot of things happen with that. You know, when you're not living a normal life where we can take time off and generation or whatever. I remember, guys, it's 6 in the morning. I've been up. I'm not having sleep that I should because of all the debt that is in this business, and I don't know where we're gonna make up grounds to get back on track just the way everything's going, because every time we think that we're getting ahead, something comes in. Like I said, the last I think 5 or 6 loads that I bought were not profitable, yet the company that I bought the load from has to get paid. We are on terms, which helps, you know, gives us 30 days to recoup. But the problem is the inventory that we got was not enough to get us there. And now I think right now we're on the hook for $22,000. And last time I checked, I think we got like $40,000 in the bank. And you know, we got, you know, we're halfway through the month. And halfway through the month, we're halfway where we need to be to sustain a healthy cash flow. So what that means is there's no sales happening enough to keep the bank at a level where it just turns. So you buy the inventory, you get your capital back, and then you take that and you reinvest it, and you keep doing it. And then what happens is sooner or later, you know, when everything runs right, you start getting ahead and you start buying seasonal ahead, but we never got to that point. So everything that we have for seasonal is from last year, so now that's stale inventory. Stale inventory is the enemy because that makes your store not relevant. So here's my office, and I know I'm gonna hear it. Looks like you got a nice office. That chair right there came in a load. It actually got ruined during transit. Somebody returned this with a broken screen, so they bought it from Costco. This is where this came from. We actually had to ship this from Arizona. We're in Illinois, so freight was a lot. And then what happened was during freight, because it was such a long ride, the one that I'd sold already got ruined. And then this one's got a cracked screen, so I can't sell that, because every time I show this to somebody, they turn their head at it, even though that this is a $4,500 massaging chair. So I use that because I have back pains now since having this business, and I'll sit in that chair and it will give me a little bit of relief. So here's my setup here. I don't really spend a lot of time in front of my office anymore because I'm always putting out fires on the sales floor. But as you can see, I have a nice setup here because when I'm looking for loads, I can pull up things on one screen, look them up on the other, and then I can have other things up as well. So maybe we can just go into something here. I have here's my light speed. We use light speed. All right, so let's take a look. 28,459. It is the 15th. It's halfway through the month. Last time this month your store sold 36,933, and I think that was our worst month. So now we're that much further behind, but now we didn't book the auction or the eBay sales from the last week, so that might go up a little bit. But I can tell you right now, let's go into reporting. Let's look at this. So I'll show you the numbers. So 28,000 revenue, 588 sales, 16,000 profit, Now keep in mind, our payroll every month or every week is about $6,000, including our salary of $500 each a week. We're making under minimum wage, me and my wife. We thought by now we would be, you know, doing better. But if we take a look at, you know, 4.98 items, average sale $48, you want this to be over 80. 60 is good, but 80 is really good. Discounted $9,000. Oh wow, look at that. 28,000 revenue, discounted 9,000. So is that our problem? Are we giving away too much? Well, the way I look at it is a sale helps out, right? Well, the problem is, let's look at this. This is excluding eBay and HiBid. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do some numbers for you guys. So month to date, it'll just take a second for this to kick on. So yeah, I mean, we got some sorry numbers here, guys. And I'm not trying to make this depressing or anything like that. But what I am trying to do is tell you guys that everybody says, oh, you got a nice store. Man, you got a lot of inventory. You're doing really good. Well, you're doing good when everybody around you has the same goal, right? But when you come in and everybody seems to not understand the concept, this is what happens. You get into a situation where now your situation is you're on your, you know, you're almost at a point where you're gonna have to close up, right? Because how do you sustain losses after loss after loss? Now look at 27,526 in revenue, cost of goods sold 12,820, gross profit 14,706. Margins 53%, which we should be, you know, 53 to 60. When I have good months that I call good months, we're over 120,000 in sales, and our margins, you know, 50 to 60, or you know, 60% is ideal. So then you're doing a little bit over double. So let's go back. Maybe I can just get like a summary. See if we can do a summary. Sale count maybe. I'll go like a year to date. Okay, so what this is gonna do is it's gonna tell me exactly what we did in revenue. So 2,600 close, more close. So we have, you know, year to date we have these two are closed. Mystery boxes right here. Snack boxes here. So the load has not been paid for. So let's go to the bottom here. It's gonna take a little bit. I wish I had a summary at the top. Yeah, see, that's what I don't understand is I don't even have time to figure this out, because I'm so busy putting out fires every day. But yeah, I thought there was a sales channel. So let's see, maybe this will do something. Okay, so here we go. So year to date, we're at like 609, which we're actually run rate is lower than last year. Margins 59%. But keep in mind that's you got to buy inventory too. That money is not all yours. Okay, so let's do range of years. Let's see if we can start See if it'll let us do. Oh, yeah, it only lets me do 2 years. So let's just do this year and last year. All right, so last year we ended up at like 1.314. I want to say that we actually sold at a loss because we were borrowing money to keep open. So I wouldn't even call this a good number. We should have been over $2 million to you know, that extra 700,000 would have helped us with a lot of inventory. Maybe even some pallet racking. But I thought the first year we were going to be doing 3 million a year. But that's not the case. So 2024, 1.314, year to date, run rate is below that. Margins higher. Okay, so let's go and let's do 2023. Okay. So 2023, we were only open from September till December 31st, and we did 357, 552, 67% margin. So this is when our store was open fresh. Basically everybody was excited. All the customers were excited. The employees were excited. Then we kind of took a hit into the next year. We couldn't keep that momentum happening. And just keep in mind, you know, September, November, September, October, November, you know, it's holiday season, right? So we did have some Halloween, but not a lot. Christmas, we had a lot of Christmas. So we were full when that happened. So that kind of like 2024 turned into, it started turning into fight or flight. And then when we started borrowing money, we started, you know, carrying the store with debt. But now we're having a problem where our traffic is dwindled down. We're not seeing the regular people that we see, and we're not getting feedback on why. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I actually got a lot of stuff to do today. We're gonna start making content regularly, and then hopefully, even though the store's failing, hopefully we can generate some money getting monetized, telling our story, telling everybody the real deal behind a discount store, or just liquidation in general. I'm gonna have a lot of cool stuff for you guys. I'm gonna tell it how it is, because at this point I don't care. We're personal loans on everything. Everything's all based on the debt is based on my personal. I guaranteed it. So at this point, I'm just trying to keep this place afloat, trying to get that next edge up. And eBay's not doing it. Hopefully HiBid gets going. But we did get word that there's a possibility that somebody's going to take over this building at the end of the year. I'm not going to really go too much into that, but we knew signing into the lease, because we did sign a 5-year lease. We did know that was a possibility, and at this point, I really hope it happens. Not because I want to fail, but because we are actually not doing well with morale between me and my wife in life, and then employees are hard to find the right fit. So customers have been, we've had a lot of support, but then we've also had a lot of people take advantage of us, and we're pretty much tired of it. We're tired of being beat down over $5-10, when we're saving the customer, and I'm not complaining, I'm telling you how it is. We save our customers a lot of money. A lot of money has been saved, and I will go through deeper numbers with my old location to show you guys how much money we've saved our customers. And a lot of them are appreciative of it, and just a lot of people just walk in here and think that they own the place. and they can just get whatever price they want. And if they don't get it, then they just walk out, and it's their loss. It's not our loss, because we are providing a benefit to our customers, and the value is there. And if you don't see the value, sorry, go somewhere else. And you can't walk into Home Depot and negotiate every price you see. And I don't understand how somebody would do that to a small business that's actually doing something for the community, with, everybody that got a bathroom upgrade that would have not had a bathroom upgrade if they didn't purchase from me. That's the way I look at it. I said, how many times have I helped somebody get that upgrade to their house at a cheaper price to help put money back into their pocket? And the people that appreciate it, you can see it. But then the people that just don't care, and they think that everybody should have these prices, it's kind of disgusting. I never thought like that. And then on top of that part, the negative with everybody thinking that we owe them. To me, they haven't earned the right to come in here and own my store like that. But think about all the stuff too that we deal with. This area right here, we had to expand our eBay, so we're gonna probably put shoes in there. Shoes are doing pretty good, but keep in mind all this stuff here that we're losing on every load. This gets bigger and bigger. This is all, look at, that's missing stuff. That's missing the big tube. So what came in this box was that and this. These are all used. This one doesn't have a charger. This one, the batteries don't work. That's filthy. That's nasty. I'm not gonna put that on my sales floor. That's disgusting. And shame on whoever returned that, just because you didn't want to clean it out. You got a clog and you didn't want to clean it out, so you returned it and took a brand new one. Shame on you. All these vacuums. Look at this. Return. And some of these are not bad, but some of them are nasty. I mean, look at that. If you don't know how to use a vacuum properly, you don't vacuum up wet stuff. That's what that is. You didn't wait for whatever you're doing to dry, so you got that filthy and it clogged it. So then you return it and you steal. Shame on you. I don't understand how that can be just accepted in society. And the company, see, what they don't understand is the company doesn't lose on that. The end buyer loses. The liquidation buyer loses. So when you take that back to Walmart or Home Depot or send it back to Amazon, Amazon can care less, because they're getting their money. They're getting premium for all this liquidation stuff. And people like me are buying it thinking that we have a chance, and we don't, because of that, because of people returning stuff. And I'm not going to go into details with it, but I can tell you I've seen some nasty stuff in my life these last couple of years with this liquidation stuff being returned, disgusting. And people should just really be ashamed of themselves, the way that they live, if that's what they're going to do. And think about, like when you open that box, not knowing what you're going to get, and something's disgusting. Good thing I don't have I don't really open them up anymore. My employees do, but it gets pretty bad. And we offer everybody gloves and all that stuff, so no one's being forced to do anything they don't want to do. So yeah, this is the liquidation side. We got some stuff to pack. I'm not gonna pack it. My employee comes at 8. Today's the day that we're off. So, but yeah, there's a space issue back here. Yeah, see, like that thing right there? See that? Somebody took that and put the wrong thing in there and returned it. And then what happened was I had that listed. They listed it, but they didn't check it because they just, you tell them, check the contents, do this and do that before you list it. They sold it, and then when we go to pack it, we check it because, we know what happens if you don't check it. It was the wrong item. So I had to do a refund, which goes against your numbers. And then, cause a bad experience for a customer. All right, so let's go into eBay. Let's go into my selling. All right, so we got 23 items. I pay shipping on everything. There is shipping that's gonna go up tomorrow. I'm just gonna see how it goes. I'm not gonna change anything. I'm actually running a really crazy sale right now, 40% off my normal price, or whatever the buy box price. I got 50% off. Doesn't seem like there's a lot of 50% off being bought. Okay, there's one right there. And I have a 33% off. So the way that I like doing discounts is, you see right there where it has the price. Now, when people are looking for this item, mine's gonna come in lower than theirs, because they're gonna see that we do free shipping. Actually, this doesn't say free shipping. Let me see what happened there. Oh, you hear that beeping? That was like that when we started. So we've actually been listening to that beeping for 3 years now. All right, so oh, this person paid shipping, so okay. Well, I guess it was a good deal. Normally it would be free shipping. I'm not sure what happened there. And I'm not gonna do anything different, but yeah, we got shipping on that. So that one we did okay on. All right, so I'm gonna wrap up the video. I gotta go back to the house. It's pretty early. I gotta do some things around the house, and I'm gonna come back and then we're gonna do another video. All right, guys, take it easy. Thanks for watching.